War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and our FLGS partner, Warpfire Minis. Baron of Dice is the exclusive dice supplier for Season of War. Take a look through their incredible designs or even get your own custom dice made.
Hello and welcome to Season of War. Today we have an exciting game of Age of Sigmar. My name's Jordan. I'm joined by a first-time guest on the channel today. Brandon, happy to have you.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and you're bringing out your Lumineth Realmlords. It's a fan-favorite army. I know people have been asking for it, so excited to get them on the channel. And I'm facing off against them with the Ironjawz. But jumping right into things today, the mission we're playing is Battle for the Pass. The scoring is a little different in this one. You get 1 point for holding your own objective, 2 points for each of the middle objectives, and then 5 points if you hold your opponent's home objective, obviously to a maximum of 6, and then 4 points for the battle tactic. And then if you are the underdog, you can add 2 to the control scores of non-hero units in your army. But Brandon, that's it for the mission. Do you want to take us through your list?
Yeah, so I'm running Lumineth Realmlords with the Venari Battle Host as my facet of war. Today I brought Ab Eleanor and a reinforced unit of Stone Guard, a reinforced unit of Blade Lords and Sentinels, with the infamous twins, Elenia and Alethor, as well as Lyria and a unit of Riverblades. You know, everyone likes the Riverblades right now. Yes,
yeah, so lots of solid pieces. And then for Ironjawz, I'm playing the sub-faction that lets me get an extra attack on the charge if I roll a big charge. But I just have 2 regiments in here. One is my Mega Boss on Maw Crusher. He's got both my enhancements for the extra rend and then for the extra D3 mortals on the charge on impact. In his regiment, I've got a reinforced unit of 10 brutes, a reinforced unit of 6 brute ragers, and then 2 units of 3 Gorg Runters. And then the second regiment is just my Weird Knob Shaman and 2 units of 5 brutes. And I do actually have, for my manifestation, the Prawn Spine here.
Yeah, I brought the Lumineth manifestations as well today. I like to keep it within the regiment, within the army, sorry.
And then for seasonal buffs, I'll get to choose first because I was the attacker here. And I'm going to elect to give my unit of 10 brutes anti-monster +1 rend on the charge. So hopefully, yeah, that'll pan out. And then up to you.
I'm going to do bodyguard with my Stone Guard and a Eleanor.
All right, makes sense. So Brandon, here I was 2 drops, you were 3, so it does give me choice of who goes first. And it's always a tough mission to store tactics on early, so we're going to give it away. I'll let you go first here.
Of course.
Yeah, and we'll jump into Lumineth Realmlords, turn 1.
My game-wide battle trait will be the Power of Heesh on the Sentinels. And for my tactic, I am going to take their land. First thing I'm going to do is bring the twins into the shrine. And so for my first cast, I'm going to cast the Protection of Heesh, which goes on an 8. So that doesn't go off, but I will use the Shrine reroll. So you get 1 reroll per turn. And that goes on a 7, so I don't get it. And then for my second spell, I'm going to cast the manifestation, the Rune of Petrification, which goes off on a 7. And that doesn't go off, so no magic for me this turn. So that is it for my hero phase. So into movement. First, I'm going to move my shrine 6 inches because it's garrisoned. For the Riverblades, I'm going to use their travel the waterways.
Choosing to stay defensive and let their green-skinned foe come to them, the Lumineth Realmlords remain patient and composed, sharply focused on their ultimate goal.
So that's it for my movement phase, and that will be the end of my turn. I chose not to move too much and get my army all out of sorts, as I didn't want to open myself up to charges or, again, opening up some holes where I start to lose a lot of guys too fast. I was able to secure my tactic and hold on to my own objective, and yeah.
So 5 points, but obviously remaining a little reserved.
Yeah, I think it was a smart play for this.
Yeah, especially with a potential looming double from Ironjawz. Yeah, you don't want to hang anything out to dry too much, but I guess with that, we can jump into the Ironjawz turn, going into bottom of round 1. All right, so Ironjawz turn 1, my battle tactic is going to be seize the center, so I have to have 2 units within 3 inches of the center of the board. All right, so for spellcasting, my Weird Knob Shaman has 2 casts because he's got enough orcs near him. He's going to start with Basham Lads first and try and cast this onto the 10 brutes. That'll go off with an 8.
Okay, I'll try and unbind it. 7.
All right, so that is going to give that unit crit 2 hits.
Okay.
And then with his second cast, I'm just going to try and cast the Incarnate. But I'll fail that on a 4. And then lastly, I'm going to use my Mighty Destroyers move to get a 3-inch move with my unit of 5 brutes over here. And that's going to be it for my hero phase.
All right, I will use Magical Intervention and a command point. And I'll try and cast the Rune of Petrification, which will go off on an 8. So, a 9. So it goes off.
I'll try to unbind it, but I don't. All right, and then I'm going to get into movement. And then I'll spend a command point here for at the double with my big unit of brutes to auto-run them 6 inches. And that's going to be it for my movement phase.
I'm going to spend a command and redeploy. So I'm going to redeploy the Sentinels. And I got a 5.
And then I have no shooting, but if you want the chance.
I'll absolutely use cover fire, so I'll use another command point. So 28 shots, hitting on 4s and 4s.
And I'll go for the all-out defense here.
15 shots at round 1.
All right, back to my 3-up save. That's going to put 5 going through there, which thankfully only takes down 1 brute.
Nice.
All right, so no charging for me, but we do have the brutes because they had to get close to the center. We are in combat with your Rune of Petrification, so I'm going to fight that with my bigger unit of brutes first. And I might as well use all-out attack here.
It only takes 1 unit of brutes to decimate the Rune of Petrification. Restraining their burning desire for combat, the Ironjawz methodically advances 1, knowing the best way to defeat the Knife Ears is an overwhelming and united charge.
All right, that'll be it for Ironjawz turn 1. A little bit more action for both of us, actually. I had some fighting into your manifestation. You did some shooting, almost taking down 2 brutes, but big things for me. I'll complete my battle tactic of having 2 units within 3 of the center, though it does put me at a bit of a risk, but I also want to be in a position that you can't just give away the turn and me not be able to do anything. So trying to be a little bit on that edge, and we do hold both of the middle objectives. So it'll be 2 points for each of those, 1 for my home for 5 primary, and then 4 for the battle tactic, putting me to 9. Again, with the shooting also, I want to be able to get in there quick, so and not get shot to pieces over the game without doing anything. But then we can jump into a priority for round 2, Brandon. That's a 5 for me. And while I don't think the Stone Guard and Avlanor are the most appetizing targets, I think I'm going to take the turn here, and we'll try and get stuck in a little bit. All right, so Ironjawz turn 2, I have no battle tactic this turn.
And for my facet of war, my battle trait for this round, I will be sticking with the Alarith Temple of -1 rend to your attacks.
All right, then into spell casting. We're gonna go for Basham Lads again this turn onto my larger unit of brutes. But I'll fail that with a 3. Then for my second cast, I'm going to try and cast the Incarnate again, which I'll fail as well. And then I am going to spend a command point to rally my larger unit of brutes. And we get enough to bring one back. And I'll go for my Mighty Destroyers move with this unit of brutes.
And I will use a command point for Magical Intervention and try and cast the Rune of Petrification again, which will go off on an 8, which I get an 11.
So I'll try to unbind that, but I don't.
I'll roll for the first one, so on D3 for these guys.
2 mortals?
2 mortals. Roll on the brutes, nothing.
Okay.
And that'll be the end of that.
And then I'm going to get into movement. And that's going to be it for my movement.
So I will spend the command point and redeploy my Blade Lords. I can redeploy them for 5.
And then for shooting, I am in range with my Maw Crusher actually, okay. So we'll get to do some shots there.
Amazing.
So he'll get to roar at Avalanor. It'll be 6 shots on 2s and 3s. So that'll be 4 at no rend for 1 damage.
1 goes through, 6 upward, and he'll take it.
And that's all my shooting.
All right, so I'll spend the CP again in cover fire with my Sentinels. All the shots can go into those 5, so that's 41 shots.
And we will go for the all-out defense again. So 18. So that'll be 5 going through, which will take down 2 brutes because of the wounds on them. And then into the charge phase, I am going to declare the wall with my Mega Boss on Maw Crusher, so giving it the big bubble of +1 to charge and +1 attack. And then into charges, I think... Yeah, I need those reinforcements back there. So we'll go with the big unit of brutes first for a 10. And then impact mortals with the Mega Boss on Maw Crusher into Avalanor, so he gets to do it twice because of his enhancement. So the first one fails, the second one also fails.
Amazing.
Could have been up to 9 mortals to him, but none.
Wow.
And then I will actually charge the Door Grunters as well for a 7. And then into combat, I don't have any starter combat abilities.
All right, so Avalanor has a Rampage, and on a 2-up, he adds 1 to his attacks and -1 to 1 weapon profile of a enemy unit. So we roll, and a 3-up. So I get +1 to attacks for Avalanor's attack profiles, and then I will -1 rend from the Brute's profile.
All right, that'll take away their anti-monster on the charge. And here, because of the wall, I am +1 attacks, and the big unit of brutes did make a big charge, so they get the additional +1.
Okay.
So they'll be up to 5 attacks each.
Okay.
But because of bodyguard, they're back down to 4s.
Okay.
But we are going to activate with those brutes first and try and put everything into Avalanor. And I will go for the all-out attack here.
And we'll go for all-out defense.
The brutes deal 7 damage to Avalanor, while the Stone Guard take out the smaller unit of brutes. Then, because of lightning reactions, Avalanor fights next, but only deals 2 damage to the Mega Boss through all-out defense. The Mega Boss then also deals just a measly 2 damage to Lyrier, who fights back and deals 6 damage in return. That's a tad embarrassing. Lastly, the Gore Grunters take down the Rune of Petrification. Getting into the thick of it, the Ironjawz hurl themselves at their enemy, hacking and slashing at anything that moves and completely heedless of any danger or thoughts of self-preservation.
All right, that's it for the fighting and Ironjawz turn 2. And as anticipated, obviously the Stone Guard and Avalanor are a hard wall to hit for the orcs, especially with low rend. You effectively reduced me to 0 rend on all that stuff. So Well, the brutes had a lot of attacks and were able to slip some damage through. Avalinor's taking 8 now. I knew the Mega Boss wouldn't be able to finish him off, and in fact, he only did 2 damage to Lyrior, so not the most effective Ironjawz charge because of showcasing how defensive those units are. I had hoped to be able to tie up the Sentinels with my unit of 5 brutes, but between the covering fire and then your Stone Guard, you took them out. Though I may still be able to tie them up, it looks like, with Mighty Destroyers, with the unit that's there. So that's the hope. I've spent a ton of command points. I'm kind of regretting not saving some for an all-out defense and just leaving you there with the brutes to attack. But that's the point we're at now. So we do score well, though, scoring 5 points again, so that'll put me up to 14. So a notable lead right now, barring your turn, and if I can hold on and keep a points advantage and hang on, that's the hope, I guess. But yeah, that's it for Ironjawz. So let's jump into Lumineth Realmlords, turn 2.
So for my battle tactic, I will pick Slay the Entourage, which I'll pick the big guy, and that just has to destroy a unit in the General's Regiment. So into my hero phase, I'm going to cast the Rune of Petrification. It goes off on a 7, and I rolled a 5, and I'll do my Shrine reroll, and I don't get it. Protection Heesh, so it goes off an 8, and I don't get that either, so not a great hero phase. And I will pop out of the Shrine. And that will be it for my hero phase.
All right, with my brutes, as I said, I will do the Mighty Destroyers move and just be able to tag those Sentinels.
That'll be the end of hero phase, and I will go into my movement phase. So I will retreat the Sentinels to start. So 3. My Riverblades will travel the waterways and move 9 inches away from opponents. That is it for my movement phase. Shooting phase, I don't think I have anything that shoots in combat. No shooting for me. And then we'll get into charge phase. I'll charge with the Blade Lords. Charge 4, which gets them in. So that'll be it for my charge phase. And then we'll get into combat. Avalinor's Rampage on a 2-up. 4-up. So with Avalinor's Rampage, +1 to attacks, I get to -1 rend from an attack profile of an enemy. I'm going to do it into the brutes, who go from 2 rend to 1 for
with the anti-infantry.
And my 2 attacks to start off will be the Blade Lords and Avalinor.
The Blade Lords are first and deal 10 mortals to the Megaboss with their perfect strikes. Then Avalinor splits his attacks, but fails to deal any damage to the Megaboss and kills just 1 brute. The Megaboss fights next and kills Lyrior through all-out defense. Then the Stone Guard kill 4 brutes who turn around and deal a single damage to Avalinor. While they punish the Oryx for their aggression, the Lumineth Realmlords stand their ground, but fall just short of slaying the opposing general, and that stumble may cost them dearly.
And I failed my battle tactic and only hold 1 objective still, so that is a 1-point turn.
Yeah, so like I hoped, holding on to the lead a little bit after that. Very fortunate for the Maw Crusher to live. He just barely killed Lyrior.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, so that's exactly what was the pivotal point of this turn.
Yeah, and tagging those archers too, that was big.
Yeah, they had to retreat, but that'll send us into priority for round 3.
5.
That's a 4, so it's all up to you.
I'm going to take the turn, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Have to try and delete as many options as I can right now.
All right, yeah, so we'll jump into Lumineth, turn 3.
All right, so start of turn stuff, I will be moving the twins into battle mode. So the battle round number goes on to the damage profile for the male. So that goes from 2 to 5 per attack for one of his profiles. And I will be sticking with the Alarith Temple and the Power of Heesh on the Sentinels. And I don't get a tactic because I doubled. I'll start off with Protection of Heesh as my one and only spell. Goes off on an 8, and I got a 10.
Try to unbind it, but I fail.
So I get a 5-up ward. So I'll use a command point and rally my Sentinels. Try and bring back the 3 that died. And 1 comes back. That will be the end of my hero phase.
I will spend a command point here for magical intervention with my Weird Knob Shaman and try and cast the Incarnate.
Yep.
Fail it on a 3. And then for my Mighty Destroyer's move, I'm going to, I think, just move back my large unit of brutes. But I do have to stay in combat with something, which I'll stay in combat with Avalanor.
Okay. All right, so for my movement phase, okay, so that is it for my movement phase. And we'll go into shooting. So we'll shoot with the River Blades first into those riders. So 5 go through, no rend.
Okay, so 3s, 2 go through, 2 damage.
We'll shoot with the twins into the brutes. 3 go through at rend 2.
So 3s to 5s, save 1, 2 go through.
2 go through, D3 damage. So
4, all right, that'll kill 2 more brutes.
So since they killed a unit, they can use their end of turn ability, Sudden Translocation. So for this shooting, I will be shooting with the Sentinels into the Gorgrantas for another 8.
So it'll be 27. So 4s, they're alive on 1.
Nice. And that will be the end of my shooting phase. So we'll get into charges, and we'll charge with the River Blades. And don't get it. I will use a CP to re-roll my charge. 3 again. Looks like they're not going anywhere. And then I will charge with the twins on an 8. And that will be it for my charges. My rampage with Avalanor on a 2-up. Get it, so +1 to attacks and -1 rend from the rider. I'll perfect strike them. I'm gonna do twins and the Blade Lords. I'll use the Blade Lords first.
The Blade Lords leave nothing to chance using all-out attack and take out the Mega Boss. Then the twins take out the brutes.
That'll be it for attacks. So my end of turn will have me translocate these guys 9 inches away from enemies.
Finally, carving through the first wave of greenskins, the Lumineth Realmlords sit comfortably and have the advantage. But time is running short, and they must regain ground if they hope to complete their victory.
That'll be the end of my turn.
All right, it was a bloody one.
Yeah, got rid of a couple units I needed to, but still only scored 3 points this round.
Yep, but obviously, as you planned from the start, staying super defensive, not letting me get into much besides your super tanky stuff.
Yep.
It's paid off, and the board doesn't look too good for the Ironjawz. But we do have, obviously, the lead still, so we can keep scraping for points and see how long we can hold on. And yeah, we'll jump into Ironjawz turn 3. All right, my battle tactic this round is going to be take their land, and I'm going to nominate this terrain piece back here. And then my Weird Knob Shaman is going to again try and cast the Incarnate, which we fail. And I will spend a command point to rally my Lone Gorgrunta on 1 wound. He's going to heal 1 more wound. So 2 left.
And I'm going to rally Avalanor. 4 wounds.
And that is going to be it for my hero phase. And then into movement, I'm going to start by using at the double with my door Drentas, allowing them to run 6 inches for a total of 15. And that's going to be it for my movement phase. And I have no shooting.
So I will spend my CP to cover fire with the Sentinels. 7 at Ren 1.
So 4 ups. I'll save 3. I take 4 wounds. And then into the charge phase, I am going to declare the Wah again with my Weird Knob Shaman. So my last potential Wah. And that'll add +1 to charge, and if they get in, +1 attack to the Brute Ragers. So let's see what they get. That's to be at 11, so they'll be at get also an additional +1 attack for my battle formation.
So the Riverblade's combat ability of Relentless as the driving current can roll 2d6, and they can flip out of combat into another combat, but they have to land in combat. For 11.
And then after your move, I'm gonna have to pile backwards with my Ragers and see if I can still take those Riverblades down. And the Brute Ragers, again, are gonna be up to 5 attacks now with +2 because of the charge and the Wah. And I will spend my last CP for all the attack, so it'll be 25 attacks on 3s and 2s.
Nice.
Try as they might to run from a fight, the Brute Ragers track down the Riverblades, wiping out the entire unit. As every Auric prepares to fight to the death, the Ironjawz look to extend the advantage, and bravely, or stupidly, stand strong and face the overwhelming numbers of their elvish foe.
And that is going to be it for my turn. And a very solid turn here because I do hold the 2 middle objectives again. My own home one for 5 points for primary, and I do complete the battle tactic of take their land to score me 9 points. So again, as we've kind of talked about, very depleted on the board, but the trade-off of you being defensive and obviously, tanking my aggression, it's leaving you with lots left, but you gotta catch up on the scoreboard.
Yep.
So then we'll be headed into priority for round 4. And we both roll 1s. You'll have choice.
I'll take the turn.
All right, so we'll jump into Lumineth Realmlords turn 4.
The twins, after using their translocate, will have to be with the girl leading, so they're in magic mode. 2 cast, 4 up ward. For my temple, I'm going to stick with the Power Heesh on the Sentinels and continue to use the Alarith temple on my Alarith units, so -1 to rend. I'm going to use the tactic of Do Not Waver, attack with 2 units and not die. And so for magic, I'm going to start with the Speed of Heesh on, I'm going to use it on the Mountain Cow. 4, doesn't go off, and I will use Protection again, goes off on an 8. And I get it on an 8.
We'll try an Unbind Protection of Hish, and we do on a 9.
Nice. And I will use a command point to rally the Sentinels. Bring back 2, and the 2 come back.
Then I will spend a command point for magical intervention with my Weird Knob Shaman. Again, trying to cast the Incarnate. A 7 down to a 6. We don't get it.
So that'll be the end of my hero phase, and we'll go into movement. That is it for my movement phase.
All right, I will spend a command point here to redeploy my Brute Ragers. They are feeling a little scared, and they're gonna move 3 inches away.
So into shooting. So Velinor is gonna shoot his 1 attack, his Geomantic Blast, 12 inches, 1 attack at 3s and 2s. 3s, doesn't go off. We're gonna use the twins to fire into the riders over there. 3 attacks at 2s and 3s. Nothing goes through. and then the sentinels will shoot into them. So we're gonna lob our shots. So it goes to 4s and 4s. And we'll use all out attack to bring it down to 3s. 14, plus another 7.
So 4 up saves here. That's gonna take them out to the wound.
Nice. And then that'll be the end of my shooting. And then we'll get into charges. So first we'll charge with the mountain cow. Need a big one of 8. I don't think we get it. Nope. I will spend the CP to reroll. Need a 9. Don't get it. Blade Lord's charge on a 7. That's it for my chargers. So we'll pile in with the Blade Lords.
The Blade Lords put everything they have into the brutes, but leave a single one alive who fights back and kills a single Blade Lord.
So I failed my tactic because I wasn't able to charge with Velinor into that unit over here.
And you overperformed a bit in your shooting too, which denied another charge option.
Should have split those attacks up, but you know, that's the way she goes. So we end the turn with just our 1 point from holding our objective because of your ability that I can't contest.
You got 1 and 2 wound models in the brutes, and I had 1 brute survive with 1 wound.
Yeah.
Literally, one of those things that it looked like you got in, you did a lot of damage in combat, you did a lot of damage in shooting.
Yeah.
But just the pieces in terms of the tactics and actually getting all the objectives, you didn't make the big charge that you needed into the brutes or to the ragers.
That's how she goes.
Yep, well, with that, we're again still hanging on. And on my turn, all I'm really gonna want to or be able to do is kind of retreat back and hold on to these objectives. Putting the brute ragers, I want obviously 5 bodies on here so Avlinor can't redeploy on and take the objective. Then my brute's gonna stick in combat here so he can try and get maybe another Blade Lord or 2 down, but he would after that definitely die in this situation, and I would end my turn here. No battle tactic really available to me. But I would store 3 primary points to put me up to 26. And Brandon, because we were talking about the miscues on your turn of doing too much damage or not making the charges, that'll seal things here for the Ironjawz. But we can roll prior going into round 5 just to talk about kind of the final stages. I get a 1.
I get a 3. So I'd obviously take the turn so I can get a tactic. I'll most likely take the center or seize the center.
Yep.
And try and get as many guys as I can up. See if I can get Avelinor up there to take over that objective.
With the speed of Hish, like you're for sure guaranteed 9 points here if you just take the 2 sides. With the speed of Hish, or even just running Avelinor onto this, he would take this one without even fighting. So a 10 point, 9 or 10 point turn here finally, but needed that the last 2 turns. A moment too late.
Miss some tactics this game, but that's how she goes. And
yeah, there were a number of close ones that it's like saved my butt here of like just having the Mega Boss survive with 2 wounds left.
The one guy surviving over there with 1 wound. Yeah,
the Brute Rager denying denied 2 points to you. So here again, if you store 10 points, it's going to be 26 to 20 is the final. When you still have most of your army on the board.
Yeah, I castled a little hard. Think if I would have split up those Sentinels attacks and had the twins go over there and be able to attack and then move, would have been a complete difference.
Yeah, another battle tactic. You know, that, like what, there were 3 close battle tactics that you missed out on. And any 2 of those or not, that Brute dying as well, that's the difference, right?
Absolutely,
right there.
It was a close game though. It's very close.
It was definitely an interesting problem for me with how you played it. I was in a huge dilemma because as we saw when I did go in on the big charge, I bounced off for the most part. The
Alarith unit, in my opinion, they don't get enough play. I think they're phenomenal. They seem to always especially with the bodyguard feature, Avalanor and Stoneguard either draw the attackers in and make everyone come in, and the sentinels just sit behind and do their damage. You were able to get in and tag them on that one turn, which again
it was huge for my survival.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, but that'll be it for us here today. A good clash here. I'm honestly, the Greenskins consider themselves lucky to squeak this one out after a couple miscues, but we'll take it. And yeah, great game either way.
Yeah.
But
Thank
Brandon,
you so much.
always a blast. That's the second time we've ever gotten to play together, so it was a good one. But guys, we're gonna wrap things up there. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that battle report, and we'll see you in the next one.